Hey guys, welcome to my video. Today I will be reviewing episode 1 of Loki. In order to do this, I will talk about what's good, what's bad, and what's utterly bad the episode. Just be warned, this episode will have spoilers for episode 1 of Loki, and I also mentioned some spoilers for WandaVision. So if you haven't seen WandaVision either, then I don't recommend you watch this video. The WandaVision spoiler, it's a pretty big one, honestly. So if you haven't seen WandaVision and you don't want this spoiled, please don't watch this video. But anyways, I thought episode 1 of Loki was great overall. This show is very high quality. This episode feels like a mini movie. I loved it. This is absolutely the kind of thing you enjoy with some snacks. It was fun piecing together the mystery of a TVA, and I'm sure it will continue to be. I liked how this episode didn't give everything away. There's still a lot of things to be discovered. It wasn't just full of exposition. There's still a lot of mysteries, and this show is holding information from you, which I really liked. I think it's done me great figuring this out as the season goes on. And Tom Hiddleston, as usual, did a great job portraying Loki. We see an all-new side of him here. We did a great look at an emotional side to him. And this one episode alone made him such a better and more developed character than he was before. This show has already made Loki feel so much more complicated, which is just great. It makes him feel almost more complete because he did develop a lot more, and I'll get to that later, how I think they kind of threw that development out of the window because, well, Loki died in Infinity War. There's not much you can really do about that. But yeah, I definitely feel like they have developed this character very well so far. This episode was funny, too. Tom Hiddleston is very funny, and Owen Wilson was great. The two made a surprisingly hilarious duo. The acting in general is just phenomenal in this. It blew me away. I also want to say that the villain setup was great. It was a huge twist, and the ending of this episode was legitimately scary. It was brutal. This first episode was definitely the biggest lore out of any of the MCU shows so far, and I can't wait for Wednesday to see what happens next. This episode has me hooked, and it's just hopefully gonna be a great season based on this. Now, to get to the bad, a little bit of what I didn't like is a little tricky because this is one of those episodes of a show where I didn't think it was awful, but the stuff that was bad was really bad, so there isn't much in between. So I only have one thing I thought that was just bad about this episode, and it was how it resets Loki's character development. And yes, this show didn't do that. Loki died, but I find it a little bit annoying how it resets it. And Loki died, so it makes sense of his character is not how Loki used to be, it's how the old Loki was, but I still find it a bit annoying. I hope this entire show isn't about Loki not being bad and changing for a better, although I have a feeling it won't be, but, I hope it isn't. Like I said, it made sense that Loki is how he used to be, but it's just a bit frustrating losing all of that character development that I thought was really good and compelling and a great part of Thor Ragnarok. I hate to say it, but this show shouldn't exist. As much as I love Loki, he died in Infinity War, and I think he should have stayed that way. His character had a great ending, and Loki coming back makes no deaths feel permanent in the MCU, especially after that ending. I mean, yeah, there's Iron Man and Captain America who died, but their legacy is being carried on by later shows about them, and it's not like they're gone. You still get reminders of them, and they're still present, even though their characters aren't, if that makes any sense. And Loki was a character who was really gone. And Vision, too, that's another example. WandaVision kind of undid that because there's a White Vision running around now, that White Vision guy. So I just don't like this whole thing they're doing. I feel like it's kind of cheap. Speaking of cheap, I feel like this show has cheapened the impact of the MCU so far. Everything that led up to Endgame had something to do with the Infinity Stones, which are worthless in the TVA. Sure, there's not magic allowed, but it still feels like a slap in the face because everything, all the sacrifices people have made, has led to the Infinity Stones, which were just these all-powerful things, and in the TVA, they're not. I don't like that. It also feels like it's the Worf effect, which is basically where a villain or something will defeat a really strong character to prove that they're a scary villain. And I know it's not a perfect comparison, but I feel like this is just a lazy way of showing how strong the TVA is by showing that Infinity Stones are used as paperweights there. And I just really don't like that. It feels lazy, and I'm not a fan of that at all. Anyways, despite a few problems I had with it, I really enjoyed this episode of Loki. This episode left a lot to unpack, which I was happy with. There's already a great mystery going on. My only big complaint about this was, like I said, it seemed to cheapen everything the MCU has built up to so far, and it's not too interesting watching Loki develop for a second time. I still am loving the show so far, though, and I can't wait for next episode. I rate episode 1 of Loki an 8.5 out of 10. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video because it would really mean a lot. Make sure to tell me if there are any movies or shows you'd like to see me review next, and I'll see you in the next video.